All right, friends, let's get into another Edge of Eternities draft. Holy moly, Cosmic Grand Zenith is in the house. Let's just grab this right off the rip here. Let's take a look at what else is in the pack. That's a pretty dang good way to start. So we want to be able to double spell. Blue-white is an interesting double spell color, but we can also do a few other things. We could double spell pretty easily in white and red. Double spell pretty easily in white and black as well. So that's kind of interesting. That was also interesting on the music side. I just saw a bunch of my things roll through. Anyways, distracted. What do we like here? Yeah, Cosmic Grand Zenith. That's an easy pick. Siege of Impact, Monoist is quite good. Desculpting Blast is also even fine. Got some interesting little setups here with Selfcraft Mechan. Luminary would be fine for what we're looking to do. The ability to warp things in is also pretty nice as we're taking a look at double spelling. So see how we can do it. Now, here's the interesting thing. I'm not particularly fond of much in this pack. We could go, interestingly enough, into like a kind of pseudo white-green counters deck, where Loading Zone could be quite good, actually, with Cosmic. You know what? Edge of Eternities is on its way out. Let's do that. Let's hard focus white-green counters, because this says one or more counters, but put a creature spec for a planet you control twice that many. Or put on there. We can warp this in to help to trigger this. So let's have some fun there. Let's have some fun. All right, if we're gonna do this, let's make sure that we can get our things back. We also said we want counters. I do genuinely think the Rescue Skiff is going to be better than the Broodguard Elite. So let's take this for now. But we'll come back to Broodguard Elite. Focus Fire would also be great here in the deck. We'd probably also snag Command Bridge and Tapestry Warden. I'm a pretty big fan of that creature, if I'm being honest. Okay, what else do we like here? What does this help with our plan? I'm just gonna take a Crasher here. Ooh, okay, there's a Burst. There is a Seam Rip, which is pretty good. There's the Enhancer as well. Let's take the Burst, though. I do think the Burst, it's like Burst or Seam Rip here for what we want. We want a functional deck. Burst is quite good. This is also pretty good. What we're looking to do. All right, we have an Elevator. We have a Coordinator. Mechan. I'm just going to take the Elevator and probably not play this. All right, we're back here. I'll take the Warden. I do like the Warden. I actually really do like this. Makes our Zenith a little bit better. Luminary versus Crasher. I will take the Luminary. Not bad, not bad. Gonna need some removal spells here, so we do need to keep an eye out for that. Some other things to pump up are 1/1 counters. I'm gonna grab the Seam Rip here. We've seen this come around. This is fine, right? It's non-land permanent. Mana value 2 or less. So that's okay. At one of these, I think, is fine in most decks. All right, and we got a Focus Fire, which is awesome. So I'm happy to see this come back around. That's good. That makes me feel a little bit better about some interaction. And now we just need some good creatures. I will take the Flight Deck Coordinator. Not particularly interested in playing that. Let's see what else we got. All right, Memorial Vault here. We have a Stomping Ground, Tractor Beam, Crusher. But we're just going to take this. Fate Maker would be pretty good. Radiant Strike would also be great. So I'm happy with that. But Halia is everything that we want and more. I think... Ooh, Dual Sun Adepts is quite good. Let's grab the Adepts. Let's grab the Adepts. I think that makes sense. We need some good creatures. Okay, this is an interesting one here. Let me just read this. This is whenever you cast your second spell each turn. All right, we're going to take the Reroute Systems then. This is 2 damage to target tapped creature or Our creature gains indestructible, which is not bad. Dockworker drone, emergency eject, all quite good. But I do like a good reroute systems. I feel like I gotta take another Dual Sun Adepts here, right? Like, Honor is good for our deck. We want a bunch of low-cost spells so that we can trigger Zenith quite a bit. But I just think the Adepts are too good. I also fully kind of expect Honor to potentially make its way around. So there is that. I think we want a Starfighter Pilot here. Ice Cave Crasher would also be good. We could consider splashing as well for our removal if we need. But we'll see. We'll see where we get to. I'd like to keep it relatively clean. I don't have any of the good green fixing, so maybe I do look for some good green fixing. But if we see a what do you get, the 3/3 that makes the lander token, the name of it escapes me. If we see one of those, we're grabbing it instantly. This seems fine. This seems fine. We have some good. We have the ability to recur some things. Again, loading zone's going to be interesting. We don't have a ton of like counter. I guess that's not true. Scout for survivors. Halia. Burst. I mean, it's fine. It's fine. We're doing. There's another loading zone. Oh man. I can't. Realistically, I can't justify taking 2 of these. I'm just going to take another Starfighter Pilot. This will help to set up our draws to attack. Okay, it's tough here because target creature controls gains double strike until its friend. If it has a 1/1 counter on it, draw a card. Or we just take a clean removal spell in Radiant Strike, which I think is what we want to do. How are we sitting here? 9 and 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 removal spells, which is pretty decent. If we get something a little bit better than Seam Rip, I wouldn't mind that. Do I want to Melt Strider's Gear? No. Take a Savior, though. This can be good for something like... honestly, we don't have much that's good with this, but like Luminary. This is a fine 2/2. Good thing to put some counters on. I think if I see another Biosynthetic or Biosynthetic Burst, I always want to call it Biosynthetic. Biosynthetic Burst here probably over the Seam Rip, because again, we do want the 1/1 counter synergies. Another Halia would be pretty nice. Or do we just take a clean, another Radiant Strike over a... I'm going to take another clean Radiant Strike. All right, there's a Weft Blade. That does fit. Kind of figured these would be coming back around. I could probably now maybe not need to play the Seam Rip, as we have Focus Fire Reroute, Burst, and Double Strike. Seems pretty good. And now we just need decent curve here. Decent curve. A few cheaper things would be good. I'd like to see maybe one or two Dockworker drones. Wow. Look at that. Call it. We need it. We got it. I like that. All right, take the temporal. Not much there. Ooh. Okay. Okay. Ooh. Pollinator. Some Melt Strider's Resolve. It fights, can't be blocked by more than 1. We do get the All Fate Stalker. Oh, this is really tough. I'm going to take the Melt Strider's Resolve here. I am, because being able to put this on something like a Dual Sun Adepts to make it a little bit beefier, we get the fight ability too, I think might just be slightly better. And I'm going to get maybe pseudo rewarded here with being able to get another All Fate Stalker. Gosh, Breacher. What else do I like here in this pack? I mean, another Luminary is fine. A Germinating Worm would also be fine for some top end. All right, now we have a choice. Few choices, actually. Do I need another burst? Probably not. Do I want a Stinger or do I want a Dockworker Drone? I said I was going all in on the 1/1 counters, so let's go all in on the 1/1 counters. Because this does help to power up Halia. And now we're looking pretty nice. There's another rescue skiff. Starport security. Or Gene Pollinator. I'm going to take a Pollinator. I think I'm good on removal. Good on interaction. Tenderfoot. I actually really like Tenderfoot here because this lets me put the counters with the loading zone out. For 3, I'm getting 2. That could be quite good. Baitmaker, perfect. This is coming together beautifully. I think I don't play the Savior. I think maybe we only play the 1 Starfighter pilot. We just really want to work very closely here with our 1/1 counters. Regardless, this is pretty sweet. I don't know if it'll be much good. Ooh. Okay, well, we take a Lash Whip because, you know, that's awesome. We have a Thawbringer, Honor. And we draw a card. We just take the Breeding Pool. We're just going to take the Breeding Pool. The All-Fate Stalker came back. Do I need another one of these? I don't know. I don't know how you don't play that. Breacher. We'll take a Depressurize. Starport security. Wow. Okay. I mean, I feel like our colors were pretty open here by the end of this pack. Last pack here was quite good. That was pretty sick. That was pretty sick. Hopefully we can get a few of the synergies going. Realistically, what do we maybe want to play? I think I'm pretty good. We have 4 cuts here to make. And realistically, I could probably run 1 less land. I think that's really fine. We have a really nice low curve here. Scouts on the return. Double strike. We have the loading zone. 18 creatures, so we need to skim a little bit here. It's almost like I don't want to play the Luminary. So I don't know that I get a ton of value off of this. And I'm almost also thinking about cutting the Warden. I want to keep some top end here. So Halia, Lash Whip, Enhancer can warp in. Rescue Skiff lets me pull something back. So it's like, do I do Scout or do I do Skiff here? I'm gonna get rid of this the Scout actually, and I think this is maybe where I want to be. Maybe I do need to play the 17 lands. Just really worried about not having enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 interaction spells. 7, 8 here. Gosh, I really just like what we're doing. A bunch of our interaction is cheap. But I just feel like if I can get Cosmogrant out, I'm gonna have a fun time doing a few of these things. But even getting like a warping in a loading zone and like Dockworker Drone, or being able to play this and then make this makes that a little bit bigger, better. Drix, being able to warp this in is pretty fun. 2 of the Gene Pollinator. Do I want to go down to 15 creatures? Maybe I don't need the Gene Pollinator. Maybe I do want the Gene Pollinator. I don't know. I don't know. I'm also wondering if, like, Luxlight Breacher or a few of these things. But, like, a loading zone with a, like, into a Luxlight Breacher with a couple of creatures on the board is also pretty insane. You know what? I'm going to run this. I can't make up my mind. I do think I want the Gene Pollinator. Let's go have some fun. Let's see if we can make some 1/1 counter shenanigans work. All right. I am on the play. And I have the Zenith. That's cool. Let's get some other things to do with this. Land go is not particularly the strategy that I want to employ. All right. Dual Sun here. There's a double striker. I have a feeling it's going to eat a removal spell. Man, that last game. Oh, it's like so not fitting, but seems accurate that we would seems accurate that we would pitch the Radiant Strike and then a turn later get smacked with an end stone. Sure. The problem with this right here is just the fact that I can't... I mean, I have to just play this, I guess. I don't have any double spell. I need the ability to double spell with this. I need a 2-mana play is what I need. What are you getting? Sammy. Very nice. Much is a rig for war? 2 mana. I mean, you'll let me get a free 5 in. Then play a 5/7. I will happily do that. So what was I gonna do here? Realistically, I probably would have Zenithed, Stalkered, ripped this, attacked. This would have triggered. I would have put 1/1 counters on everything. attacking with both would have drawn me an extra card. That would have been probably pretty good. And then I would have been able to at least fight through the Bruntar pretty effectively, right? Because everything would have at least been big enough for me to be able to do that. So, yeah, interesting, because they still end up, like, they're in such a tough spot. But whenever I attack, I guess they really don't have good blocks. They could double block down the Lash Whip Predator. But with our sequence there of taking this out of play and then being able to put 1/1 counters on everything, that'd have been pretty good. I drew the land, so that turned out nicely. Okay, on the play here, Predator, Skiff, Strike, or Drone, 2 lands. I think I keep it. We can find some lands. They've got a Mite. Got a Drone. Do I want to do that? I'll fight this, I guess. I'll get a lander. And I will attack. Not having a land. Pretty sad. Oh, man. Sure. Taking 1. There's a land. I think it just makes sense. I'll leave this up. I think it makes sense to just pop this lander, get a plains. So what I can do is can Fate Maker in this Stalker, warp this, attacks, that goes, this comes back, make this a 4/3. Little sequence there. Interesting. But I do get trying to make the Mite bigger. The problem ends up being is you have to be able to tap it. Right? So Mite is really good when you have the ability to So this is interesting, right? Like you don't attack. You make that an 8/8. I just take the 8 damage. I mean, you're not killing both of these. You kill the drone, I just make the Fate Maker bigger. That's an interesting attack. Yeah. Now a land here makes Rescue Skiff pretty interesting. I mean, that seemed fine. Maybe they have another Grove Strider. But I have some... I mean, I'm going to keep All Faith Stalker here, because what I'm honestly worried about is the Glacial Godmaw. Maybe that's why they made that attack? I don't know, that seemed interesting. They realistically could have hit me for 8 damage. Attacking last turn with the Grove Strider and the Might, I would have blocked the Might, taken the 8, I'd have been to 8. Might would have been dead. The difference would have been is that I would have had both my creatures, and then I would have been able to Radiant Strike on that following turn. Been pretty good. Bringing it back. Oh, please tap the Grove Strider. They're doing it. Makes my Radiant Strike alive. They didn't. Wow. I mean, if I just all fates here. I mean, that's a solid 8 damage coming at you. And I have a 5/6. Let's go. Okay. This is pretty decent. 3 lands. We'll go Drone into Fate Maker. Hopefully by turn 4 into Crasher. With All Fate Stalker backup. I'm pretty good with that. I am pretty good with that. Oh, now we go Gene Pollinator here. Into Drone, into turn 4 Crasher. Ooh, little mirror match action. Sea Chip Impact my Gene Pollinator. That would be mean. They didn't want to do it. Dock Worker Drone. It's live. What do you got, my friend? Hold on. Enters the number 1 counter equal to the amount of mana spent to cast it. So if I just All Fate Stalker this, does it just come back as nothing? Is that how this works? Oh, it's a 0-1. Sorry, it's a 0-1. Yeah, that's fine. So Kim comes back as a 0-1. That is cruel. That is cruel. I need a land. I need a land very badly. Oh, that's funny. That is funny. Attack! Attack me with your Baloth. Please. Hit me. Yes. Oh, that's tough. %100% keeping this. I just want to be able to play it. Whoa, Exalted Sunborn. Well. I definitely need that. I have to hope that they don't have something for All Faith Stalker here. Okay. All right. All right. I keep the resolve. Play this. Put this here. I attack with this. You can block. Nope. I get to draw a card. Boosters. Sure. All right. My Cosmogran Zenith. Melt Strider Resolve. Fight this. This is pretty gross. This is pretty gross. I was gonna say if they had the Beyond All Quiet or whatever, I'd have been so sad. I'd have been so sad. Yeah, GG's, my friend. All right, I got to Zenith once, so happy with that. Okay, so here's the interesting thing. We actually can have some fun here. So let's keep this. Let's hope. Get out. Do some fun things. Champion. Let's pilot. Team leader. Orpin. I'm not blocking, my friend. I would rather be able to surveil here. Mr. Bulb. I want another Dual Sun Adepts. I don't see why I wouldn't. So this can be just a good blocker. Tis the double striker. They just like go team leader go. Shoot this. Sure. Okay, so here's what's interesting. I can Cosmogrand attack. They go to block, I focus fire. Oh man, is that like super greedy? You know what? I could just get bombarded instead. I think we just attack instead. I just need to find a land here. Yep, it's fine. They're not blocking, which is even more perfect. Oh, they are going to block. If I focus fire this now. I would have... Cosmogrand into burst. Yeah, I'm gonna shoot this. I'll sun here. I think the surveils are pretty important for me. Because if they just go like team leader here or something. Back in. Okay, I will take the reroute systems. That's just a ton of damage. Gotta just let this happen. I'm gonna keep the land. If I put this here, I don't know. That was probably a bad play. Okay. Sure. I made a removal spell here. That is a land. You have to block this. Down to 5. Interceptor mech in, nice. The team leader back. I wish we would have drawn a spell this last turn. Chrome Companion, interesting. Brace, maybe? Kill the Lash Whip? Or the Zenith? Yeah. That's pretty good. I wish I had one more spell. That would have been game. Oh, that stinks. Yep. Sure. Block. It's like if I play this here, I think I have to try to wait for a double spell opportunity. All right, didn't matter. Maybe that was really poor. I probably played this game horribly. I just really wanted to double spell. The reroute with the Bios burst was not good. That was not a good sequence of plays. Just let me have my fun. Okay. Yes, please. This is actually quite nice. All right, we got all of our colors. Got the pangolin. Let's just pop this little guy. All right, I think doesn't particularly matter here. As long as it doesn't get orbital plunge, I guess it could get grav killed. Oh, all right. That wasn't horrible. Gene Pollinator dying kind of stinks. Sure. Screw this up. Yeah, sure. I mean, if they go like crew another creature and I can lash whip, it'd be really good. Your ore plate back. Play your ore plate. Yeah, crew this up. Sure. I need a land. Any land. So I go Flash Whip here. Attack. And let's put a 1/1 counter. Oh. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks. That worked out pretty swimmingly. Onsaya. Nice. Good game, my friend. Fun sequence there. Fun sequence there. You know, I'm trying to think, but I do think making the 1/1s was smart because any double spell after that then starts to escalate those things, making them 2/2s. Now, granted, we are stuck with a few of our bigger things in our hand, but if we are able to find another cheap spell, but I mean, we ended up getting into focus fire there. If we didn't, but we didn't get 0-point balloted and have the Gene Pollinator die, that would have been pretty good. And Meltstrider's Resolve onto the Zenith was really, really nice to ensure that we kept this around. That really was what propelled us. So that was nice. That was a good, clean game. Good, clean game for the 1/1 counters deck. Okay, on the play here, Predator. We have an Adepts, a Pollinator. This is pretty good. This is pretty good. We can get Pollinator out quick. We need a 2-mana play, particularly. can just... Fate Maker to pump up the Pollinator? I don't think so. So the thought process there is I could have Fate Maker pump up the Pollinator, sure. Then put Melt Strider's Resolve on it. Let's see what they got here. Hopefully not. Hopefully I don't eat a second Plasma Bolt. I do not. Oh, it's too bad. I'd like to do my little shenanigans. This can go poorly for me too. Unless I don't have anything, of course. Oh, that's fine. Sure. Now we can Fate Maker Stalker combo. And make our Dual Sun a 3/3. We want to do that. Sure. Am I about to eat another Desculpting Blast here? Does it just more so make sense? I'm actually, Let's go ahead. We'll attack here. Oh, alright. So now I am going to make this play. And this comes back. I am going to put the counter here. I thought about putting the counter on the Dual Sun, making it a 4/4 double strike. But with one more mana, we can pump it. And then everything also gets +1/+1. So that makes that a 5/4 Fate Maker with no blocks, which is a boatload of damage if they don't have some things to get in the way. Plus now we have All Fate Stalker that can also just really ruin their day. So like a one creature play here ends up potentially being pretty tough for them. We have Radiant Strike backup as well. Yeah, I mean, so like the play here is just Stalker this. You take a whole bunch of damage. You can kill my Stalker, great. That still ends up being lethal. Are they double Plasma Bolting this? Did they think it dealt 3 damage? Horribly confused. Activate. I think they thought this did 3 damage. Sorry, Space Worm. Do I win even still through that? No. Yes. Because of the double strike trampling damage. They would have played 2 creatures. No, I don't win. But I'm still able to pump that up. They have the Cryologist and their 4/5 back with 8 toughness. I'm throwing 4, 8, 13 damage at them. Yeah, I think they're still dead anyways. All right, on the play here, we finally get to see Loading Zone, and I'm just gonna keep it for the memes, for the pure purpose of actually, in all of the games so far we've played, I haven't seen this yet. So let's get Gene Pollinator up and rocking and rolling, and hopefully they're slow. Bloomin' Stinger. Yeah, there's a stinger. It's blooming. Sky Stinger. All the stingers. Sure. All right, let's get Loading Zone here in. I'm taking some damage here. Alright, they've played perfectly into my hand. Land would be great. Boom, baby. Oh, wait, do I want to do this? I do not want to do this. I do not want to do this. Noise, noise, noise. What does this do? Sure. You sure? Please attack. Alright, if I Radiant Strike this guy, and then attack. Huge damage! And now I have a 7/9. Edge Rover. So the play here then is to warp in All Fate Stalker on Atmospheric Greenhouse. Melt Strider's Resolve, the Lash Whip Predator. What am I getting set up for here? How do they kill my Lash Whip Predator? I block this. Sure. Guess either way, that was bad for me, or gonna go bad for me. So then I just... All Fate's Stalker. Suck this up. Melt Strider. Fighting this. Crack the lander. Grabbing a planes. Invasive maneuvers. Interesting. I did not see that. I did not anticipate an invasive maneuvers. This is pretty sick with loading zone. I am really glad that the last game we get to play here, well, not the last game, this is assuming I'm going to win this game, that I got to finally use loading zone. Oh, man. Turbo Drone. Sorry, friend. I don't know that that's going to be enough. I mean, yeah, I just drop this in. Making everybody bigger. Sure. Good game. Loading zone for the win. We got to do the 1-1 counters thing. And you know what? When it worked, it worked. That was a pretty good little diplomatic relations there at the end. But this was pretty fun. This is a fun little deck. We stumbled into one game, but other than that, everything else was pretty clean. Here's what worked really nice. We obviously had a fantastic card in the Cosmogrand Zenith here, which is great. We also had a really good suite of removal. Focus Fire in this deck was good. Reroute Systems, Melt Strider's Resolve ended up being quite good. Burst was fantastic as well, and the double Radiant Strike. These I do have to be careful with because they're a little situational in terms of tapped creatures. So just making sure that we're paying attention to that. Other than that, though, just really nice. Double All Fate Stalker ended up being an all-star as well. I like the little combo of All Fate Stalker onto her own Fate Maker, being able to pump up her 1/1 counters. Halia was great. Rescue Skiff ended up being quite good, but Predator really was really solid, as you would expect it to be. This being able to go into the double spell with, I think it was Focus Fire for that Cosmogrand Zenith play on the Territor Bruntar. It's quite good. So this was nice. Overall, this was a lot of fun. I certainly would have liked to see a little bit more opportunities to play Loading Zone when we had some other 1/1 counter synergies. I actually feel like that would have made for some really, really interesting games and decisions, especially Loading Zone plus Cosmogrand would have been really awesome. Being able to warp this in after playing this, make just like there's some pretty sick lines that I could have seen in my head that would have come together, but I cannot be mad with what we put together here. Good colors, really pretty solid top end too. There wasn't a lot of opportunities where I didn't feel like I was able to push in some damage, and that's mostly just because, again, we had some good 1/1 counter synergies. We had a good suite of interaction, kind of keeping some threats off the battlefield and allowing us to get in, punch in some damage, and kind of manipulate combat a little bit, especially again with a few of the things that we could do at instant speed. So always like to see that. So really fun deck. kind of tuning down on the back end of Edge of Eternities here. Just a few weeks left, so we'll be doing some more, but fun to finally get in, and certainly to get a trophy is always very, very nice. So hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to hit that subscribe button for us. We really do appreciate all the support. If you enjoy pack openings, we've got some really fun ones coming up, so be sure to stay tuned. We do those every Wednesday. We have playlists for both our MTG Arena content as well as all of our Magic pack openings, so be sure to stick around, peruse around, take a look at that. If you want to join the Discord, we'd love you to stop over there as well. That link is in the description. And other than that, thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Peace.